Okie dokie, so on this channel I talk a lot about how I want to achieve, skills and muscle building at the same time, right? And oftentimes I get people wondering, well, don't they conflict with each other? And the truth is, yes, they do, If I were to focus solely on building muscle, I would build muscle faster. If I were to solely focus on skills, I would grow in the skills faster. But the thing is, for me personally, and this is something that you have to figure out for yourself as well, is if I only focus on skills, I'm sad that that I have to stay skinny, right? That I have to stay light and that I don't get big juicy muscles. I'm sad about it. I'm sad that I can't train legs. But if I only focus on building muscle, then I'm sad that I am not able to train skills, basically. So yes, if I were to focus on one, I would get faster results of one of the two. However, I would have something in my mind like, shit, I'm unhappy that I'm not able to do the other. So for me personally, finding a middle way and doing both is a perfect solution because I'm still getting progress in both. I'm still getting stronger at skills. I'm putting on weight. And even though the progress is not as fast in any area as it could be, I'm still making progress and it's still making me happy, right? In the end, your training should be something that makes you happy. Even if people tell you that what you're doing is not efficient or that you should focus on one thing or another, let's say that you focus only on skills, right? But you're always sad that you're not able to put on size, that you're not able to build muscle because then your skills would get heavier. Well, if you're happy to make that sacrifice, sure, but if you all the time have that thing in your head like, damn it, I wish I could do this and that, but I can't, I feel like you're not going to enjoy your training as much. And that's something you have to figure out for yourself. Like, do you want to then make the sacrifice and, go faster in the skills? Or do you just want to do a bit of a combination? Like, doing skills is not as efficient to build muscle as to do actual bodybuilding training. And that's normal, right? If it was, then every bodybuilder would be doing a planche, but you're not. So it's to be expected that your results will not be as fast as a bodybuilder, but still, if you just train hard regularly, even if you're training skills, you're gonna build muscle quite fast, right? I think you can still get like 80% of the results while doing the training that you enjoy. So for me, that's kind of the way I'm taking. And today as well, it's not gonna be like the optimal muscle building training, right? I'm gonna focus on planche form and do some volume, do some injury preventing training. So it's not very efficient for bodybuilding, right? But I still know that I am regularly doing hard trainings that are gonna put on size as long as I'm eating enough. So today, like I said, some form checking training. I'm gonna do planche with some assistance. Make sure that my arms are straight and that my hips are correct. And basically, I'm gonna aim for couple of good sets, right? I want to hit some good volume today, and then from there go on to some accessories for my forearms and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it. Let's go. Right, it was a good first set. Now playing some Eurobeat. Today is gonna be a chill session, so chodoi in Japanese, but I don't know in English. Just right for today's training. I also added it to the horsing playlist. So if you're wondering what music is in there while I'm training, just go over there. Basically, when I'm focusing on form, what I do is I do multiple sets, probably at least 5, where I go sub maximum. So I feel it burning, but I don't keep going until I just completely burn to shit, right? So when I start to feel the burn, that's when I know to end the set so that I can recover properly, and go again in the next set with a relatively good amount of energy, because you need energy to focus on your form. All right, last set wasn't that good, can be better, but in these trainings, if you have something that wasn't as good or as good as you hoped, the advantage is that you can just try again. That's why you do these trainings in the first place. To try something, check the form, and then improve it. My juice is getting to the limit. All right, one last set of presses here without any assistance, just to feel it. It's gonna be a good feeler for the next training. So let's see if even without the assistance, we can do it with straight arms or relatively straight arms. It's not perfect yet, but still getting better, right? And that's the goal of these trainings. So in these trainings as well, what you notice is I'm always taking the video from the left side, because the left side is my bad side. If you're training your form, don't take it from your good side. That's all I'm gonna say. If you have imbalances. So let's go. All right. Okay, the planche press hold kind of part is over. Very happy with today's progress in the form, Still bending a tiny little bit, in the arm, but way better than before. So I really can't complain. And, what I said about if you're training for form, you're not really training to build muscle. It's entirely true, because you're not going to your max, so it's not optimal. But at the same time, I feel like today I got quite a good stimulus in my shoulders. I feel it. I'm quite tired. Maybe I went a little bit overboard on the intensity, because to be honest, I expected the sets to feel a little bit easier, but still, even if it's not the most efficient, like I said, if you just eat enough, you're gonna build muscle. You're constantly using your shoulders in the planche and the front lever. There's no way that they're not gonna get bigger. So what I'm gonna do now is some accessories, and these are, done entirely in the muscle building science-based way, because what I'm trying to do is I'm gonna try and basically strengthen my forearms, because in the planche, you're constantly pushing up like this, trying to hold yourself up. And everything of that pressure is going through your forearm, right? Your contact point is your hand with the bar. And every every force is going through your forearm from your body into the bar. So that's why, the pressure on your forearms is very big. And in my case, if I don't do some accessories for them to strengthen them, well, they'll get injured a lot. So what I do is I grab this hammer like this, and I'm gonna basically do some hammer lifts, I call them. And this is gonna train this muscle in the body. And I'm gonna do these slow and controlled like a real bodybuilder would, Alright, planche training done, forearm pump, check. Very good improvements on the form today, so very happy as well. Was good training. So I want to touch a little bit more on like the style of training that I do and the efficiency regarding that training. So I focus everything on skills, right? Or like 95% of my work that I do in training is skills. I try to get stronger at the planche, the front lever, the pistol squat, the Nordic curl. Those are like my main movements. I love doing those movements. And even if my goal is also like alongside that to build muscle, my training really doesn't change that much, right? I mean, I've done bicep curls in the past couple of weeks. I've done push-ups for my chest to activate it. But really, like, I can't set long-term goals for those movements. I do the push-up, I do the bicep curls, and I try to get stronger bit by bit at them. But it's not like the planche where I can tell myself, someday I want to get 20 seconds. It's not like the front lever where I say someday I want to get 45 seconds. It doesn't excite me that much. So for me, I don't do those exercises long term, consistently. But does it really matter? I mean, if I'm going hard in my training, if you are going hard in your training consistently, and your goal is to do the skills, that's fine. And you can still build muscle alongside that. It's not going to be the most efficient way, obviously. But to me, the ideal training is just the one that I love the most, that's gonna get me jacked, stacked, succulent, and dense, as a certain person would say. And in case of calisthenics, right, I'm not gonna get bodybuilder proportions because, for example, the chest is not activated as much. But still, I'm gonna build a physique because I'm training hard and I'm eating enough. And for me, that's fine. And even if gaining weight is not beneficial for the skill itself, I care more about the fact that I'm getting bigger in general, right? If I gain weight and gain strength on skills, in general, in general life, I will be stronger in an absolute way, not just relative to my body. If I gain weight and you were to put me in one random environment and say, do this strength test, I would have an advantage if I have a bigger, more muscular body. And knowing that in my head, like I'm getting just stronger in general, is something that gives me happiness, right? And in the end, if you're not training and becoming happy from it, then why are you doing it, right? Like 99% of the people are doing training because they want to be happy. And for some people, it's losing weight. For some people, it's gaining weight. For some people, it's competition. And I think like the ideal way of training for you is the one that aligns most with your goals. If your goal is to do skills and build on muscle, but you're only focusing on skills and keeping your body light, well, then you're not putting on muscle. So somewhere in your head, you're going to have something like, oh, well, I'm sacrificing a lot, right? And there's going to be something you're not happy with. If your goal is to compete, then you only care about the skills, and your only goal is, to be as light as possible and to be as strong as possible on those skills. So then it's different. But for some people, they don't care about the competition. They just want to, be able to show off to their friends that they're able to do a planche and also have sick muscles, right? So to me, really, training is not only about efficiency, getting to something the most efficient way, but rather than that, like enjoying yourself, that you're able to do it a long time. So that's enough ending for today, I guess. Tomorrow is gonna be a full day, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna do either floor Victorian or some impossible dips. We'll see. It's gonna be posterior chain and perhaps a bit of arms. So that's gonna be very fun for sure. And yeah, I'll see you then.